Hi, Patricia.
Hey, Micah.
How you doing?
Hey, not bad.
We're trying to broadcast this on Facebook Live, so that'll be tested when. But I'm not gonna. I guess I don't know what the rules are of this, but I guess you
I have no idea.
I'll do it when more like people start coming in before I'll start doing it because it's not 6:30, I guess yet. So
Oh, 6:22. Oh,
I just have to. I'm supposed to just have to hit this button, but hopefully it works. I don't know. All right, I'm just gonna do a few other things before.
so tired. So tired. I have to take some Advil. I'll be right back.
Okay, sure.
Oh, gosh.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. Just rushed home from work.
Well, welcome home.
Yeah, it's like funny. I come home from like doing Zooms to do more. Yeah. because we do our meetings on Zoom too, even though like because we're in weird groups.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not gonna I'm not gonna try to start this Facebook Live thing until there's like a few more people in here. I don't unless you think I should start it now, but
Well, when you start it, when you're ready to really just start the thing,
yeah,
just it takes a minute or two for it to get started. That's why
I know.
it started before you roll. That's all.
do you think I
Hi,
should start
Patricia.
it now or should I wait? Or
I would wait because you're not going to start at 6:30 on the dot anyway,
No,
right? So,
no.
so you might as well wait another couple minutes and then start.
Okay, that's what I thought. I'm just hoping it works because I did all these things where you insert all these codes into streaming key and URL key, and I'm like, I hope that functions. Everyone I know who does
So
it, they do it for like, that someone else does it for them. but
is it me and then the features, or me and the open, or the open and then me?
It's the open and then the features, but we don't tend to have a ton of features. Usually like 6 or 7, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see who
All
pops.
right.
I'm waiting for people. There's a bunch of people that asked me to be signed up, so like you know them, I think, like Susan Wyman.
Yeah. Well, Meg here, she's not signing up separately for me. She'll just read off the same camera as I'm on.
Easier to navigate
Okay.
rather than close doors and try not to be back.
Right.
All right. So we're here. We're ready when you are.
Okay. Just chill for a few minutes. I'll see who I'm waiting. People pop up when they pop up.
Yeah, I know how it goes. I know well. What a day.
All right. Well, I put you down, Patricia. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's a
Oh, ready
beautiful.
to-
Is that a flower behind you, Patricia? It's gorgeous.
That's my, I took a picture of my,
Oh, it's your fish.
my babies. I figured,
No, when you were blocking the front.
yeah.
Yeah, it looks like her head is the middle arm when she's in front of it.
Baby looks better than I do, so hey, I'd rather have the baby look good. Standing for me, made me ask the baby to read for me. Would appreciate it. But I'm gonna read anyway, what the hell.
Okay.
Yeah. I had to go, I went to my bank today in my neighborhood and everything went down. So now I have to go back. I have to call them tomorrow and see if they're online. They had to tell everybody to leave and Apple Bank for savings. The whole system went down. 'Cause
At the bank.
Yeah, Apple Bank, yeah. The system went entirely down. And they had to tell everybody to leave.
That's crazy, but they still had power. So it was just like.
I don't
their
know, it's like the
computer-
Wi-Fi. I was even having problems with the Wi-Fi in the bank, and I normally don't have that problem.
That's correct.
That's crazy.
Something crazy going on there. So now I have to call them because I'm not gonna make another trip, and I have to go to the city before the next snowstorm. Because I gotta go to
Yeah.
my truck box, clean all the crap out of there.
On everything. That's once you come home. Everything's such a pain in the ass.
It's nice to get out of the house because I've been locked up all the time. I'm tired of it.
Yeah, yeah.
The snow,
No, I hear
snow,
that.
it's too much.
I don't mind the snow. I'm that jerk. I don't mind it.
Well, you got the backyard, you can make a snow people.
Yeah.
You're lucky you got that, so you don't have to venture out. It's nice.
Yeah, no, it's definitely nice.
You have a nice setup there.
Yeah, the only thing I mind about the snow is when I get to the corner and that's a huge slush puddle, but that's it.
Oh, yes, and they don't necessarily clean it. It depends on who you're dealing with in this neighborhood. They'll leave a whole big pile, and of course it's gonna melt into a big puddle. They don't shovel, the
Yeah.
owners don't shovel it.
Yeah. And we need green roofs. We have green roofs that would help a lot. absorb the water.
Oh, God. Oy, oy, oy.
Oh, okay, Susan Wyman.
You see her?
Yep.
Yeah, hi, Susan.
Hey, Susan.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi.
I don't know if I'm gonna do this one.
Are we just like staring at each other right
Yeah.
now?
How are you doing? We're just
Yeah, we-
I'm waiting for I'm waiting for people to trickle in. Like I don't know. I guess tonight's a slow night for that to happen.
Right.
Everyone's like, I have the plumber coming, or I have this. I
Yeah.
might pop in. John S.
Oh, it
Hall said he was
reminds me-
coming. Yeah.
Well, Matthew,
Reminds me of the old joke about the three monks in the cave, you know? The
What
three
about?
monks sitting in a cave meditating, and a horse looks in the cave. And the first monk, 3 months later, the first monk says, "Did you see that brown horse?" Then 6 months later, the second monk says, "That wasn't a brown horse, it was a black horse." And a year later, the third monk says, "If the two of you don't stop arguing, I'm going to find another cave." That was-
right?
Hmm.
So that's how I feel about these quiet Zoom.
Okay.
meetings. That's what I'm saying.
Right. Matthew, I wanted to tell you that Roger Kamenetz is like a cousin. I'd never met him before. And
Oh, really?
yeah, when I saw he was, reading, that's why I tuned in, and I sent him, like an email later, and he emailed me back around 11:30. He said he didn't think we were related, but I called my uncle at around 8:30 the next morning. I have one of his books that my mother gave me like years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a delightful person. He's really nice.
Yeah.
And that he was great. He was a
Yeah.
great reader. Yeah, no, his The Jew and the Lotus. I read that book when it first came out in the mid '90s, and they did a PBS, I guess, did a documentary based on it that I dragged my parents to a screening of because I was trying to explain to them a little what it was like to be, a Jewish Buddhist to them, right? And then years later, I just happened to meet him in New Orleans. I went to read poetry in New Orleans, and we knew people in common. And it was I went to a party, and there he was, and I was like, "Oh my God, your book was so blah blah blah." But he's really that's cool. That's fun to meet new people like that. And
Right.
that's really
Right.
it's totally fun.
Hmm. Let's see.
We'll give it like four or five more minutes
Okay.
before we.
Well, yeah, I can broadcast some other exciting news. I had my second COVID shot on Valentine's Day.
Wow.
Right.
Congrats.
Yeah.
That's No reaction?
No,
How you
just
doing?
tired, extremely
Yeah,
tired.
that's
other
for
than
most
that.
people, are feeling tired, you know.
Right, but I thought 1 out of 3 people get symptoms with Moderna.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I can't even get my first one for some reason. I don't know. Oh, well, I keep trying.
well, are you looking like in pharmacies? Like
Yeah, because I'm not gonna
Walgreens?
travel. I'm not gonna go to a hospital or anything. I refuse to go to hospitals. I prefer a pharmacy. And I try in Walgreens and Rite Aid here, and they don't have it.
Some of them said they're doing it, but for only a certain age group. And
That's the problem. That's the problem. Yeah, I have that
Javits
problem.
Center said that's the only one near me. We have like in Corona, there was supposed to be a place that was doing it, but they ran out of doses. They were like a
Mhm.
24-hour
Yeah, yeah.
near Jackson Heights. So.
So I have to wait anyway, because I'm not, what are you gonna do?
Right.
It is what it is.
Well, just keep trying.
Oh, okay, Elena. Hey, Elena.
Hi, sorry I'm a little late.
It's okay. It's one of those slow nights.
Right.
Feels it.
I feel slow somewhat too.
Everyone has
I'm just
taken
moving my ass around here today,
oath of
that's all.
silence.
If I fall asleep on the screen, just look at the fish.
That
We'll
you
wake
have,
you
I have
up.
a trippy background. I feel like I should be high on something like to see that giant fish, but
That's from my fish tank, yeah. That's his little
because
colorful.
it's like big.
Oops.
Listen to Pink Floyd's The Wall, or something while
Yeah. I
staring
had to
at.
clean the tanks today. Today was tank cleaning day.
Sounds like the beginning of a poem.
That.
Mm,
Yeah.
they're so cute. They always come to my finger. They're very curious fish. They're not boring. When I'm doing something, they run over there. When they see me coming in, they run over there.
Mhm.
And I play games with them, all that, and they pay attention. And I move my hand around, and they jump a little bit. It's fun. He's a little devil. It's cute.
I have my guinea pigs behind me, but they seem to be behaving at the moment.
They're sleeping? Are they sleeping?
Yeah, kind of. I just fed them. If I don't feed them and I try to do something like this, they can get very excited and
Mhm.
weak, a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know
Until-
if anyone ever hears them, but
Yeah. Until I get more settled with work instead of this temporary stuff I keep getting, I gotta have a cat. I have to have a cat again. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna have my cat.
how
Well, I
about
have to have money. I have to take the vet and all that stuff.
yeah, I mean, they don't know what to do with guinea pigs at the vet, or very, not a lot. They don't know what to like. They're sort of like look at them like, why'd you bring this in?
Are you doing experiments or are they just pets?
No. When you bring them to these pet places, they don't often get guinea pig owners bringing them in. Like, and only a few. Not everyone takes exotic. They're considered exotic animals.
It's ridiculous. They sell them at Petco.
That's right. So
Petco, you see the
the
section for
doctors are
that.
just like, yeah, we do dogs and cats. We do dogs and cats mainly. Maybe a ferret.
They have like bearded dragons. They're cute. I like beardies, but I'm not having any room in the house.
Right.
How many cages? It's going to get expensive too. Fish are the cheapest.
No, it's true.
I do.
Unless they're exotic fish.
Yeah.
Better fishes aren't that exotic. They're, you know.
Well, we're thinking of getting baby guinea pigs to keep them company and give them a run for their money now that they're like middle aged. They need something.
As long as they don't get pregnant, that's all you need a whole pile.
No,
of
we
guinea
have to all females.
Oh, good.
That's the plan. Unless if you go to
Yeah.
a pet store, that can accidentally happen where they give you.
Yeah, they could. They do that. I heard stories.
Yep.
And then the little ones come out.
Right. Hey, Matthew, do you want me to start the Facebook Live and we'll get going, and if more people come, they come? What do you
Yeah,
think?
yeah.
Okay, let me see how
Sure,
this
might as
is
well.
live on Facebook. Just give me a second because let's see, share on your timeline.
Take your time.
Share on the page you manage. I'm putting this on my Risk of Discovery reading series page, ROD reading series, just so if you have to tell somebody.
Yeah, I'm gonna look. I'm gonna go to Facebook on my phone just to see if that's coming up.
It's preparing the live stream now. So.
It's Matthew. People, come on. The KGB guy.
There we go. All right, there it is. Title required? Okay.
Yeah.
Then you have to go to videos, right?
Oh, sorry, everybody.
Okay. Okay, now we're going live.
Yeah. Yeah, it's on.
Okay. All right, I'm going back to my Zoom. Yay, because I don't want to look at myself twice. Yay. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Risk of Discovery reading series. I'm Micah Zevin. This is, we do this every third Tuesday of the month. We did do this long time ago. It seems like 10 years ago at Blue Cups Cafe in Woodside. Hopefully we can be back there again at some point, but it's a very small place and I don't know how you social distance in there really. Maybe in the summer you could do it outside, but
yeah, I
definitely miss it. And it's more, communal. But, this has worked out really well. Okay, let it know in. Anyway, I start off every one of these reading series by reading poetry prompts that I made up the day or two before. And I read like 2 or 3 of those poems. And before I introduce the open mic, and this is the Risk and Discovery part of the reading. So I'm going to read the first one, which is write a 14-line broken American sonnet called Normal Joys Shrink Ourselves, Our Secret Selves in Historic Proportions. Normal joys shrink ourselves, our secret selves in historic proportions. Discomfort, unlike a brand new vintage t-shirt, you chafe. Promise me you will become a street dance, not a trend, a twin, or simply a reflection before baking some confection to dip in coffee in the evening while constructing murals of the neighborhood in all its hope and noisy disaster. Behind the veil and the vows, a snowblower vents, a baby or a baby goat dog cat bird shrieks. As we expand into a novel and employ character devices taken out of secret diaries of our youth. A psychopath or a sociopath is not a welcome guest, but a suspect, not vibrant, and you've yet to connect the dots to their misdeeds, perhaps what they view as their magical powers. Magic exists in natures as the willows whisper to you and are blown away by your mouth as the wind towards renewal. So there's that first one. It's a broken American sonnet. You don't have to use strict iambic pentameter, just 14 lines. The second one I'm going to do is number 2, write a 10-line, 5-word per line poem called Swallowed by Land and Praise Disinformation. Swallowed by land and praise disinformation. I wish for space lasers. I wouldn't burn down forests or participate in divine orgies. Am I born of hermits? No one died. Everyone's trying, flying in and out of pathos. I'm not a cannibal, Hannibal. I couldn't pay sinkholes fees. as the oil drowns faces, our captivity, our abusers' delights. So that's number 2. And then the third one I'm going to do is the number 3 in this group. Write a 12-line poem. Line 6 should be, cheap exploited workers are pounding on the gates of a city with a thousand suns. In line 12, the birds fly into the darkness after coming down from the mountaintop. This is just called number 3. I don't have a title for this one. Can you detonate mania to escape lockdowns? Do jokes get caught in your woke spokes as you dream of sneezy grass spinning baseballs in your vanity laced with profanity? More than a fist must be raised, unpraised. Exploited workers pound sonic drums until reaching the city with 1,000 gates and suns. One party is supposed to be empathetic capitalist cowards who listen. Donors own and drown them. The other, fascist capitalists. All the way, apparently, minus hoods, hoping to keep you starving even as the disease carves you out of existence. The birds fly into dark windows after coming down from the mountaintop. And let's call our first open mic reader, Megan Hupert. Please give a big round of applause for Megan, everyone.
Thanks. Thank you.
Sure.
I just do space between thought. I value transparency. One must know oneself to be so. Self-awareness is hard to exact. We're all backwards when looking in the mirror. Erase yourself. Become see-through. See the sea on the other side. Know its smell by sight. Tug just below the sternum. Render the head aloft. The ruthless criticism of everything existing, I have it. Non-theism and pantheism are the exact same thing. Movement is prayer. Are you ventilated or venerated? Forget books. Your mind is a library. Pronounce both R's. Commit to memory. Forget making dreams reality. They choke us less when within. We won't speak of souls, see a flock of birds. We won't speak of spirit, yet a butterfly. When discussing the ruthless criticism of everything existing, we mean that it exists at all. Non-theism and pantheism are the exact same thing. Only when you're passionate love with the world. Movement, prayer. What are you? This is my Valentine's Day offering. I feel like should come maybe with an apology. Pick up the pace, bitch. A minuet. Carve the air with the back of your hand. Present a peach, a plum, a floating oasis. My midline finger, voila. How do you say just the tip? Staunch, starched, dotted, and dimpled, a little creamy. A squid wrapped round my ribs, zipped and clipped upright. Bacteria on the cheeks is the same in both places. My inky lower lip. Loosen your goose by tightening your clam harder with your heel. I give you my neck, my middle pearl to your raw palm. You give me an eye on the head of a pin. I wear it on my belly. Just the tip. Chin dropped, toes in line, wiggle the spine to straighten. Nod, click, simp, swish, swat. Swat. Tentacled clap track, red raw across your, the bacteria on cheeks is the same in both places. Thank you.
Round of applause for Megan, everyone. Please welcome our next open micer, Olena Jennings. Big round of applause for Olena, everybody.
Hi, I'm going to read 2 poems, fairly new ones. The first one is called What Is Not in the Film. The lake. We sat so close to the water, it touched our toes. We talked about something maybe about her girlfriend, but the conversation was lapped up in velvet black sky, water. We walked for a long time at its edge until we stopped again for tea. They gave us blankets against the lake breeze, and we were spending all our money so that it was doubtful we'd have enough for the car ride home. But someone accepted too little, and she got out before me. I went home and I was sick. I could feel the lake inside me. It took the form of guilt. It took the form of sadness. I could feel her words inside me without knowing what they were. Her presence is an echo. And the next one is called My Past Self. And it's in a series of poems about a friendship with someone named Asia. My past self is unsatisfied. I wanted the dog to leave the room. I wanted jelly shoes, even if the plastic made my feet bleed. I wanted Asia to fill out the carbon copy forms with her name and address. I wanted her to let me wear the purple dress in the playhouse. I wanted a miniature pink rose bush in the new garden. I wanted to go to public school. How do I satisfy my past self? I think having a beer after my shift waiting tables. I haven't thought about getting sober and I pay no attention to details. Sometimes I scream driving home about revolution and diamonds, about nothing I know anything about. But these are the songs on the radio, and instead of satisfaction, I create more empty space. When I get out of the car, the wind from the tree blows through me. My past self doesn't long for Asia anymore. My past self can't find her passport, so is stuck at home. My past self imagines walking from the plane and into her arms. My past self is filled with the sound of the engine.
Wow.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Please welcome our next reader, Susan Wyman. Big round of applause for Susan Wyman, everyone.
Do we have 3 minutes?
Yeah, go for it. Or you can go a little over, I don't mind.
Okay. So I'm continuing with my series of vignettes called Life in the Time of COVID. And this is Going to the Whitney. We decided to take the elevator to the 8th floor of the Whitney Museum and work our way down. Apparently, everyone in the museum had the same idea. A couple of times, anxious museum goers bumped into me. There was little social distancing. Why didn't the museum do a head count and restrict the number of people? We left the exhibit. Nick and I went out to the terrace to take photos of the dazzling New York architecture. We probably spent more time outside than inside. Let's go to the 3rd floor, I suggested. The elevators were busy, so we were instructed to take the staircase. When we reached the 3rd floor, there was no entry and we had to go down to the lobby. We waited for an elevator to the 3rd floor where there were very few people. There might have been a reason for this. Neither of us were thrilled by this exhibit, prints of everyday objects. They were too mundane. Afterwards, we walked along 10th Avenue to 14th Street, where we hopped on a bus. I was so accustomed to taking free shuttle buses in Astoria that I entered the back door of the bus without paying. We didn't pay the fare, said Nick. You're right. We could be arrested, he said. That's true, I agreed. We exited the bus 3 blocks later at 7th Avenue. We spent an hour at the Whitney and traveled an hour each way. It was good to get out of the neighborhood. Okay. The next one is Zoom therapy. The first couple of sessions, we did phone therapy. After the 3rd session, I asked if we could use Zoom. It took a few adjustments. I found it hard to look at myself and use speaker view. After a couple of times, I chose gallery view, so I was in the box next to my therapist. I wore my computer glasses so I could look directly at her. Sometimes there were technical difficulties. One time it took 15 minutes to connect. We texted back and forth and left the meeting and re-entered. Both my therapist and I admitted we were both anxious and this could happen again. It didn't. We became used to Zoom. During my sessions, I pondered the evils of the Republican Party and Trump, expressed my feelings of frustration and isolation about the pandemic, and endlessly discussed my relationship with Nick. Eventually, I became used to seeing my face. In one session, realized that I smiled a lot. I was a happy person and experienced a Zoom realization. So, thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Our next reader, please welcome to the stage Noah Levin. Big round of applause for Noah, everyone.
Hi, all. So,
Hey.
hastily put together set today. Was dealing with a lot of house repairs. So,
I hear that. I hear that.
so I kind of just raced into the Zoom. So let's start this off. Today was kind of a nice looking day out my window. So I'm going to start off with this short one. This is called "Staring Off from the Brooklyn Side of the East River at Night." Sitting by the city's last gleaming, but it's the infinity that truly strikes thee, darkened the quality with the yellowed flashing of eternity that I can only call life, and its electric wattage flowing and pulsing its own time, not tied to you and I, but caused and created by our own hand, our own dreams, our own nightmares, our own greed to fuel our own being. But the water laps and my mind is in bliss, suddenly surrendered into the serenity of the moment, the time upon eternal, because I am continually stuck in the present. All right, and this next one, oh man, I've been trying to fit a title into this one for weeks now, and it's untitled, and I don't like that it's untitled, but one of these days I'll have one. Bus ride into hatred's heart, bringing love in a travel bag. Violent welcome over bridge with Billy Cub to head. So many decades past, yet life has become more tolerable and completely less tolerable to many who happen to wear the wrong tone. I try to set my feet as I look into my friend's eyes, and I wish I could not fathom unearned pain. Personal experience at the end of a family photo album says, "Aunt killed in Auschwitz, 80% of family wiped out in the name of national pride. We were the enemy to blame." A history lesson perhaps, but personal pain to relatives I know and love. Their story. At whose sake does history spill its venom, giving scapegoat magic key to downtrodden and those that want to feel power? Listen to those whispers from Big Brother's megaphone saying to trust no one you don't know. Injustice is a dirty secret out in the open again. Generational turmoil. Fight for equality. I see nativity in the next generation who knows no hatred yet. What ideas do you want to paint onto that canvas? Construct a wall or open a fist? Leave open palm prints, etchings, and rock. I see beauty in so many directions, peoples and places and cultures, family life and time for friends and romance and quiet times too. A life worth living. Too many challenges, sometimes insurmountable, sometimes unbearable. Look me in the eye. I want to break bread. And then this last piece.
I was just thinking of for your title, "Bus Ride into Hatred's Heart."
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, that was like the very first thing you said. I was like, that fits. I don't usually pick lines from my poems to make them titles, but that works.
Right on. That's
all right, continue. Sorry to interrupt, but
no, not at all. That's my little hat tip to John Lewis and the Freedom Riders. So when things were really at their worst in June with marches and everything, and personally I wanted to participate and I kind of couldn't because my health wasn't so good. So what I did was I found solace in John Lewis's march, and I kind of just and I sat there and I read that, and then of course sadly he passed away soon after that. So I wanted to give like my life's little tribute to him, and that's the bus ride into hatred's heart. Okay. So this last piece, so I was hoping to have this finished right before this reading. It didn't happen. So this is part of my, so I had, as Micah knows, I had COVID pretty badly way back at the start of the pandemic. And I've ended up with a little bit of cycle of poems just because it's been 11 months and over time, just every once in a while, one accidentally pops out of me. So this one's kind of my most recent. So I wrote this very recently. This is called After the War. Swept in tide, zombified, lost in a hazed out dream where every day merges into the last day, brain floating through time with hazed out borders on edge. 2 million dead, 100 million infected, 11 months now since I had a sniffle, and then a cold, and then I couldn't breathe, choking COVID from my lungs out of my being. Days move on, no need to dwell. Grab my bootlaces and pull self out of all engulfing quicksand reality. Wrecked mind, I can see my shattered self in the mirror, leaving shards of who I was hip deep. I'm me, but not him from last year. Patchwork person, duct tape pieces of me back together. Let's get serious. 11 months of healing means my memory feels like a dementia patient's. My limbs are heavy with fatigue. Small efforts pushes me through a wall. Anything, doing the dishes can leave me exhausted and collapsed. Even doing this now will leave me exhausted. Done for today. I'm confused more often than I'm not and need help with simple tasks. A little bit can leave me in a zombie state, wandering my home, not knowing what I'm doing. Now I live in a world of tests, and more tests. The doctors don't know why. I'm a stat that says recovered, but I'm not really. I don't know if I ever will. I was healthy. I wasn't old. This can be anyone. It's not the flu. It's not another flu. It's not another flu. It's not the flu. It's not the flu, you bastards. Ah, well, shit. Sympathy is just a penny in a change cup and I don't want it. Others are home bored and I'm happy to be alive. Content. I'm still here, but even as I raise a fist to daily challenges. But understand this. If you love people, keep safe. Keep them alive. And don't become me. Recovered into a shattered state. I'd sit in a solitary forever to keep those I know alive. Too many already gone. Another day merging into yet another day as grayed out boundaries of time continues to flow, breaking free of calendar, threatening to derail and untether from all sense of hours and days ticking by. Can't afford food, can't afford rent, businesses closed, no job, emotions explode under pressure, a world gone mad. But today I plug my battered broken brain into Zoom and share thoughts globally. I'm here, I stand. Fatigued, but I stand. And next year is still coming, and we'll raise a glass to us and our health and those we lost. And now we'll sit in place staring out the window, watching infinity roll into the horizon. Possibilities. Smile. Thank you all.
11, everyone. Thank you, Noah. Please welcome our next reader, Patricia Kerrigan. Big round of applause for Patricia, everyone.
Thank you. Going to read some anti-Valentine poems. This first one,
Okay.
yeah, this first one was just accepted tonight by Jerry Jazz Musician.
Okay.
And I'm gonna end with a tiny scenario, a little political. My funny Valentine. Photos took away what makeup tried to compensate. Her mouth and expression distorted by light and angle. Her figure, less than chic, even in basic black. To match her mood, she dyed her hair the bluest purple. He used to hum my funny Valentine, joked about her looks and intelligence, but would ask her to stay another night. His sarcasm would jab deeper. Her thorns sharpened, sliced, commercialized expectation. Her vulnerability fell, her stem transformed, a reminder to single women that more petals must fall. Smoke Gets in Your Eyes, inspired by Miles Davis. Your match tries to strike this nasty woman. Status quo burns for lust, and honesty says no. Sulfur dioxide smells more than petals, and maverick thorns reject your pursuit. Silly hearts and sayings incinerate self-esteem. Phone numbers on matchbooks have amnesia and turn to ash. Your smoke avoids insight, a serpentine spiral to nowhere. The dance floor widens, whose bouquet takes flight. White rose innocence masks the bridal pirate. And end with political, thank you. This is not even for Lunar New Year, but the current political situation. Ox rebuilds what rat destroyed. Year in transition. Ox rebuilds what rat destroyed. Year in transition. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia. Thank you to all the open micers. Okay, no one new has popped in, so I think I'll introduce you, Matthew. I'm going to introduce our feature, Mathew Hupert. Mathew Hupert is a writer and multimedia artist from New York City. He is the founder of the Neuronautic Institute and Neuronautic Press. He has 2 full-length collections, Ism is a Retrovirus and Secular Pantheism. He's also the author of several chapbooks, and his writing has appeared in numerous journals and anthologies. Buy his books. Mathew hosts several poetry reading series, including the annual Showcase for New York Voices, Night in the Naked City, and the monthly series Neuronautic Institute Presents, which features writers from around the world and a vibrant open mic. He is a recipient of the 2020 New York Acker Award for show organizer and host. When he's not writing, he can be found cooking for his family. Give a big Risk of Discovery round of applause for Mathew Hupert, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you to all the open micers. It's an honor to be here. We'll just get into it. Excuse me. All right. Mostly new stuff. We'll see how it goes. First one's called No One Does. First day out, you hit the light, get smacked on the ass and think, man, I did not sign up for this. And it goes on from there. Did not sign up for it. In ways petty and grave every effing day. Bills, kids, everyone's kids, pandemics, hateful faces, tomorrow's pains, yesterday's choices, shoes stained and dinner burnt. Did not sign up. No one does, but every now and then, a moment, shiny and bright with a tag still hanging off it, tags that sound like an inhale when they spin against each other in time with your stride. This one I actually wrote based on a conversation that I think was the last in-person poetry reading before the shit shut down. This is called Quantum Contentment. For years now, I've heard tell of the collaboration that didn't happen between Jimmy and Miles. Can you imagine? Holy shit, how much could be different if rock would have changed, jazz would be different, hip hop could have grown with different samples and beats, fusion wouldn't be Weather Report light. The world might just be a little better place with electric love and eclectic rhythms, quaking our pulse, syncopating our steps, informing our everyday. The stark psychedelia and every morning earworm cocooned in brass and silk strings. But if there's quantum entanglement and Everett is right and waveforms don't collapse, then there's a universe right there where a kid's gotten high and lowering the needle on the vinyl for the very first time, gasps, eyes widening. Oh, wow. We need a lot of gratitude right now. It's been a tough couple years here. And so this is items from a gratitude list. Day 1, waking up, sleeping, sous vide and fried chicken, dream bunnies, indoor oxygen. Day 2, the bleeding stopped, remembering dreams, forgetting dreams, dreaming, building a bed builds bonds. Day 3, hope, the possibility of working it out, tastes and flavors, jazz, eye sparkle. Day 4, fermentation, respiration, aspiration, dedication, love. Day 5, healing exists. People like me more than I like myself. I'm surprisingly healthy. The cat is warming to me. We're still here.
Nice.
All right, just piling on through. This next one's called Mono no Aware, which is a Japanese, a part of the Japanese aesthetic. Mono no Aware. I've been trying to write a poem about Tibetan sand paintings, but the wind keeps blowing it away. Thank you. This is an older one here. It's called F Train 5:45 p.m. Back when we used to like travel and shit. F Train 5:45 p.m. Riding back to back on the F train with you is like a Cold War spy movie with code phrases and trench coats, and the fate of the world hangs in the balance. Only instead of uranium, the MacGuffin is us. Little love poem there. All right. Dubrovnik, 1940. It's a little prose poem, very short, flash fiction. Was married each other barrels on a ship to America. The ceremony was the sound of seagulls. All right. This time of year, I lost my dad a couple of years ago, right around this time of year, so he's often in my head, especially this time of year. But this is a high boon for my father. Tomorrow would have been his 92nd birthday, and I don't know why it was sunny out. The breeze whisks away the summer heat in dust flurries and lavender. Every swaying tree and garden flower tisks my desire for clouds. I wash the dishes. I set the table. I wrap myself in everyday tasks. The hot peppers ripen from purple to red. Sparrows pick at the seeds that Megan scatters out back. The cats occupy their cushions. There's cruel comfort in the quotidian. It's good to sit in the garden. Morning doves sound like rusted springs on wind-up toys when they fly away. Yeah, all right. This next one is called Enunciate. The wind gusted the lungi off my shoulders. I said, the wind is telling us we should be naked. You said, the wind is telling me I need to don a button-down shirt. Most problems in love seem to be translation errors, or maybe the wind just mumbles. Now, it's been a hard couple of years for me. As I said, my mom actually passed from COVID in the springtime. And I'm trying not to write too much about that, but I'm going to share one with you now. It's called My Mother Passed in a Plague Year. Took me 3 weeks to cry for my mother. It's complicated. Goodbyes can linger long and still be so sudden. I was an orphan before my mother died. It's complicated. There is cold fire between us, unfocused in mirror and lens. Goodbyes can linger long and still be so sudden. There was a cold fire between us. I found amnesty for her in my aging. Her forgiving was forgetting, forgiveness in both mirror and lens. I found amnesty with aging. Only just now do I get who she was. Children don't see parents as people. Her forgetting was forgiving. Only just now do I get who she was. It says more about me. I know I missed my opportunity. Children don't see their parents as people. It says a lot about me. It took me 3 weeks to cry for my mother. I was an orphan before she died. Thank you. All right. This is called poetryprompt.com. Create a poem about breaking news on CNN right now, but in yours, make sure it's raining. Contemplate the nape of your neck. Write a sonnet on why it's like the back of the moon, a sestet on shape, a sestet holding your head aloft as allegory, a heroic couplet that shivers electric between nape and lips. Ekphrasics, ecstatics, exclamations in sotto voce. Take a class in whole hog butchery, dedicated to the one that got away in iambic pentameter. Write a poem from back to front, so the title surprises me. As Micah mentioned, I did get the Acker Award this year as a host and show promoter, and I'm really honored about that. But included with the Acker, all the people who are nominated in the various categories do an art piece that goes into a box, which is the award. So everybody gets the 40 pieces of it, of all the other artists.
Oh,
And
wow.
I did this, I did a little chapbook here based on quotes of Camus.
Oh, wow.
So I put that in the book here. So there's 6 poems in here, and I'm just going to read those to you. And then I have a few more after that, but I'm just going to barrel through there. Each one of them has an epigraph, which is in French, being Camus. I'm not going to butcher the French, so I am just going to read you the English translations of the epigraphs. out of respect, you know. So the first one is, one must imagine Sisyphus happy. And the Camus quote is, the awareness that life is absurd cannot be an end, but only a beginning. One must imagine Sisyphus happy. Camus wasn't wrong about the myth of Sisyphus, but this year feels like the boulder has shattered into 8,000 marbles, ping-ponging willfully. There's a little picture. That one. I don't know if you can see it. There's
Oh, nice.
All right, next one is called Tar Sands. And the Camus quote is, we always deceive ourselves twice about the people we love, first to their advantage, then to their disadvantage. Tar Sands. Frack you. I frack you to feed myself on your underdepths until your out beauty collapses in shattered shale. Frack me hard and deep, drilling into the resources just beneath my mantle, so you can grow water fat and well-oiled warm through the winter night. We were pristine forests, hiding wealth under shimmering aspens and hooting owls and scurrying beasts that did not have any illusions about the nature of love. Do we lie to each other out of love, or because we don't know the truth of ourselves? And this next one is called Cherry Stained Oak. Life can be magnificent and overwhelming. That is its whole tragedy. Without beauty, love, or danger, it would be almost easy to live. Cherry Stained Oak. There's a semicircular scratch on the floor, an arc traced by a slightly misadjusted door that becomes deeper each time one of us comes or goes. The arc has become almost every day unseen in the manner of things we see every day, and that we never have to ask if this is the last time we will scratch the scar deeper, is the shape I want to live with you. That one was dedicated to my wife, who I adore. This next one is called Piranha. It also has a little picture with it. And, mistaken ideas always end in bloodshed, but in every case, it is someone else's blood. Piranha. Good intentions don't mean jack shit if they leave you bleeding on the floor. They say sticks and stones and sticks and stones and sticks and stones, but words cut deeper every time they define you. With all due respect to Billy Carl Bill, perhaps no ideas but in things, but there are things and ideas that can strip the skin from a man in moments, leaving bleached bone, walking fourscore till the grave. Praetorian piranhas feast on flesh until only affiliation hangs from the bones, affiliation implying aberration from a non-existent norm. Better to be sticked and stoned than nibbled and whittled and left bleeding on the Amazonian banks. I think I got 2 more on this. This one is called Less Than Everything. And Camus said, perhaps we cannot prevent this world from being a world in which children are tortured, but we can reduce the number of tortured children. Do something. If you can't raise an army, raise a child. If you can't bring an elephant, pick a flower. If you can't end despair, wipe away a tear. And the last one of these, also this comes with my favorite picture that I did in the book. So you can see
Oh,
it.
wow.
And this is called Abe Absurd. And with rebellion, awareness is born, said Camus. Abe Absurd. Hail the holy jester, the holy fool, the cosmic goof. Friday night, under the amber cone of a dim street lamp, patting my pockets, my pants, my chest, looking the fool, I couldn't find my meaning anywhere. I knew I had some when I left the house, heard it clink my keys on the way out the door. Jean-Paul called this feeling nausea, but he was always a bit of a drama queen. Why should dying in an empty room be more nauseating than dying with a deity? Patting my pockets, the absurd and meaning isn't a gift, it's how cats signify. Pockets empty, I left the street corner, whistled my way into the dark. Cosmic goof, holy jester, holy fool. So that was my Acker book called Do Not Wait for the Last Judgment. It takes place every day. And I have 3 more poems here for you guys. Let me say thank you again. You all been great. Thank you for listening to me. This one is brand spanking new. It's called Tintinnabulation. I listen to you ring, clang, and peal. And what I really long to know is, are you bell, gong, or chime? Will you sound from the outside, the inside, or through gentle rebounding? How does your oscillation begin? Are you bell, gong, or chime? I listen to you ring, clang, and peal, and I really want to know. And we're living in a time where going out on a date with someone you love is sometimes just going for a walk in the open air, because that's pretty much what we can do. And so I wrote this. This is called December, Dusk on the John Finley Walk above the 59th Street Bridge. The sky ran salmon and pearl above the East River, which estuaried back inland in paisleyed waves, lazy to the Hudson in salmon and pearl, with the clouds dragon dancing, sprouting flames as dragons do in salmon and pearl. And there was you, and there was I in salmon and pearl, just walking. All right, last one. Thank you all again. This is called Shifting Down, which is the title of a Coltrane tune. Shifting Down. Sometimes when the lights ba-da-da-do-dee are low and the quiet house echoes silence, and I feel ba-da-dee-do-do, a poem coming on. You're asleep in the next room, and I want to tell you ba-da-da-do-dee, a verse about love, but all I hear, only a train solo, ba-da-dee-do-do. It's not Byron's Flame Flower or Dizzy's Bebop Burn, like love is in the easy early days, but dee-do-dee-do deep, deep, like only a decade can dig. Dig, ba-da-do-do-dee-do. And this poem doesn't careen off walls, wailing hot, a howler in a jungle canopy, but ba-da-dee-do-dit-dit booms like a low aftershock echo in a canyon when the rock slide is finished and birds worship the moment of still. Do-do-dee-do. So what I'm trying to tell you is ba-dee-doo-doo-dee, ba-da-dee-do-do, ba-da-dee-dee-da-dee, ba-da-do-dee-do-do-do-da. Thank you all so much. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Matthew Hupert. Big round of applause. Everyone unmute yourself. Big round of applause for Matthew Hupert.
Thank you.
Applause for all the open mic readers too. Give yourselves an applause. I just wanted to do a little self-promotion because Ron Colm, bless his heart, sent me this. This is this weird Queen's Gazette magazine that him and me are both in. I didn't even know it existed, called Queen's Scene. The
Oh,
Queen's
cool.
Gazette, apparently, I haven't been able to
Nice.
find any of these Queen's papers for a while because of the pandemic. So he's in it. And then, and also, where's this? I should have marked. Okay, and I'm in this. This is from the old Astoria Coffee days, this photo, but it's a good photo.
Nice.
Susan, you took that photo, so I use this photo all the time.
Awesome, man.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks everyone for coming out. The next one's March 16th, Tuesday, March 16th. Tuesday, the feature is Therese Svidoba. I don't know if I'm saying that right. She's a poet and writer. So keep risking, keep discovering, keep imagining, and stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for coming out and sharing your words. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you,
Thank
Matt.
you, everybody.
Another
Good
round of
night.
applause for
Stay
Matt
safe.
Hupert, everyone.
Enjoy
Stay safe.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the snow's coming again.
Oh no, no more snow, please. But
I can't take it. This place is a mess here where I live.
well, knock on wood. We're like everyone, like Texas. We're
That's right.
we're okay here.
Yeah, Texas is a mess.
We're not. Knock on wood that doesn't happen. All right, everyone take care of yourselves.
Gee, Micah.
Take care.
Thank you.
Okay, good night.
Thanks again, Matthew. Thanks again, Megan.
Thank you.
Thanks, Noah. Thanks, everybody. Kelly. Bye, Patricia.
Bye.
Bye.